All right, welcome back to the mountain today. So it's time to shoot our 1895 Gewehr 98 commission rifle. As far as I can tell, it has not been shot in a long time. We had to totally take the gun apart, replace the bolt head, the extractor, and the firing pin and some other parts. So we're going to do the right thing and build a gun clamp so we can strap this thing down to a bench and shoot it from a safe distance. Let's get started. All right, I think we have all of our wood cut. Let's get it screwed together. All right, so what we ended up with is a backstop here that kind of lines up with the butt. We're going to have to put some foam rubber in here or something just to even that up. We want all the stress to be equal all the way across. We have a nice area to support the muzzle, and we'll end up putting a bungee cord or something around this so it doesn't happen to rise out of there. And then we're going to screw this entire thing to our gun bench so it doesn't go anywhere. Sounds like a plan. All right, let me show you the finished rig. So we have a block of memory foam there in the back. I went ahead and added two more little braces here on the back corner. Two things, it's going to make it get wider, not as inclined to tip. It also gives me spots to hook these little screws in here. So we can do a bungee cord over the top of the stock, up the side, and around the muzzle. So that should be pretty good. Now I also went ahead and drilled 3 holes here in the bottom. And we'll just screw that thing down to our shooting bench and get ready to go. Now the only thing I'll have left is we need to get a string to hook on the trigger. Now the trigger is way up here, so we got to either connect the string in the back, go up around the trigger and back and out, or just a loop around the trigger, but that might interfere with the trigger guard here because the trigger guard is pretty wide. Let me sort something out and I'll be right back with you. All right, as expected, this trigger guard is too wide just to hook a string around the trigger and pull it straight back. It has to really recess all the way back in there. So what we've ended up doing is hook a string on this side. I just put a little screw right there. It goes up the side of the stock, through the trigger guard, around the trigger, comes back, and goes through this nice stainless steel fair lead. That way we'll be able to pull on it here. And let's give it a test real quick. We can verify the gun is empty. Nothing in the bore. Push the charging handle forward and turn it. And that actually cocks the hammer by pulling this thing here back. We have the string up over the top of our trigger. Comes around to our fair lead, and we're just going to give this thing a light little pull. See what happens. Seems to work pretty good. So we're going to cut about a 20 or 30 foot piece of string, take it with us, and load up and go to the gun range. All right, we're up here at the gun range. I went ahead and rotated our shooting table long ways towards the targets, just so we have a much better place to clamp this thing down. And we're going to screw this thing down all the way forward, because if anything, the recoil is going to drive down on these back legs. Get that thing screwed down. All right, that's not going anywhere. Let's check the elevation of our table, make sure we are still shooting into the hill, which is way up here at the top. So I think I'm going to turn it just a little bit more this way, just to make sure that if the barrel does rise at all, it doesn't clear that hill above. But it should be plenty good, but we'll correct it anyway. All right, we changed our direction. We're more into that road now, which is pretty good. Still have the hill way up above it. Go ahead and mount the weapon. Put our rear stock in as far as it'll go. Wrap the foam around the barrel and push that into the slot. Our bungee cord over the buttstock, down the side, as tight as we can get it, around the front of the front stock, crisscross it again, and hook it in behind here somewhere. That shouldn't go anywhere. Now before we load the weapon, we're going to go ahead and hook the string up and do a couple test fires just to make sure the string idea works as expected. So the way this works, we go through this little stainless thing around the trigger. We are going to verify the weapon is empty. Weapon is empty. All right, so at this point it should be a hot weapon. We're going to give it a little tug and it clicks. Good job. String is not falling off the trigger. Going to pull it. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Next thing we need to set up is where we're going to shoot from. So the gun's on the bench here. Our trigger string is coming out there. We have some big trees and we have the truck. I think we're going to go around the front side of the mini truck and see if we can take up a position in that direction. Let me show you what we ended up with. We have our firing string coming through this stainless steel clamp here. Comes along here. Goes outside of this tree. Outside of this tree. Around the front of the mini truck. Over to, well, right about here. So when we fire this thing, we have the truck between us and the gun the gun is probably, oh, I don't know, how far away is that? Maybe 35 feet away. That's pretty good. And I think we're just going to crouch down here next to my other ride. That way if this thing does blow up, we'll be behind safety glass and steel and all kinds of good stuff. Now, we are going to test this thing from here to make sure it fires. Now, there's no ammo in the gun right now, but 3, 2, 1, it pulls just fine. So let's get the gun set up. And we got to put on our safety gear. We need earmuffs and glasses. The rounds we're going to be shooting are these Norma, and they are, oh, where's the label on the box? Of course, it's on the other end. They are 8x57 JS rounds. And yeah, the ballistic information is right here. I don't know if that means anything to anybody. So let's get this thing loaded up. We do have our ears and eyes on. We have one round we're going to put in the weapon. And make sure it fires first. Pull the bolt back. Slide one round in. Make sure we have slack on our string. It locked closed fine. The weapon is hot. Clear the range, clear the range. The weapon is hot. 3, 2, 1, fire in the hole. Did it shoot? I can't hear anything. Let's check it out. All right, I went ahead and put on my reading glasses so we can get a nice close look at it here. First things first, let's make sure the string is loose on the trigger. The bolt comes out nicely. Now I didn't slide it way hard back because I didn't want to eject the shell down the hill. But the shell is fine. We had a nice strike on the primer. A little bit of goo on the shell casing itself. This casing looks like it's in pretty good shape. Don't see anything bad here. The weapon is empty. We're going to look at the muzzle end. The muzzle end looks pretty clean now. Did have a little bit of powder rust in it, even though we did rake it out. But overall, the first firing is pretty good. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and load the gun again. We're going to shoot it some more. All right, we've completed 2 rounds through the rifle. Let's take a look at it. The firing rig seems to be holding up well. We're going to eject this thing slowly so we don't lose the case down the hill. There it is. Brass looks pretty good. I don't see any distortions on it or anything like that. The breech looks nice and clean. No signs of the barrel coming apart. Let's just keep shooting it. I think about 10 or 15 rounds would be good. All right, so the 1895 commission rifle, which is the first German smokeless powder repeating rifle, seemed to work pretty good. Let me show you what we got. So we don't seem to have any issues around the muzzle. The breech doesn't look like it's even been hurt at all. We did fire 10 rounds. And I want to make sure that the case opened up plenty, and it did. So a new bullet slides in there nicely. What that means is there's plenty of headroom for the bullet to get released from the shell. So there's a little bit of room inside the barrel where this front part of the brass expands to let the bullet out, and that seems to be working well. I'm really impressed with my shooting rig. It seems to hold the gun really solid. The extended trigger string works well from way up there somewhere. All right, so what are the next steps for the Gewehr 98? We're obviously going to take it home, clean it, take it apart, check everything over really good. I also want to re-blue this barrel shroud. It looks a little dodgy, and we might try this again. You guys get outside, do something fun, come back and tell me about it.